Welcome to Arctic Pythons. We're going to talk a little bit about, the snakes that we have here, what the plans are for the future. But first off, I want to start by letting everyone know that's reached out to me on Instagram and wanted to do the sticker trades, or people that I've told I'm sending stickers to. So I go out to check my mail today, and like 4 of them were returned to me for whatever reason. I don't know why. They're just letters, so I just put one sticker on it, and or stamp rather, and apparently you need more than that. So they're coming. I just gotta wait now until Monday and resend them. So I apologize for that. That's my bad. I should have looked in. I guess nowadays you gotta put like 1,000 fetching stickers on there just to send one, piece of mail. But whatever, it is what it is. So that's that. I haven't, forgot. I actually sent them out when they came back, and so we're gonna solve that and get those to you as soon as we can. But I want to talk about the animals that I have, the vision that I have, which obviously a vision, if you're going to get into breeding instead of just keeping, is important to know where you're going, what you're working with, and things like that. So first off, we're going to start with the newest animal that's kind of tripping out. But anyways, this is Eclipse. He's a mainland. He has no dwarf, no super dwarf, no nothing. He's a mainland, okay? And I'll tell you all, I think I did a couple videos back, but I didn't really talk too much about him. I don't know if you can see in the light, if you zoom in, Caleb, on the iridescence that he has. So, I'm colorblind, like I've said several times. I like the comments that y'all put in there, about, like the morphs and things like that. They help me. I can always learn more. Like I said, I'm a boa constrictor guy. That's where I've mostly bred and raised. Motley's was one of my biggest focuses, and jungles back in early 2000. I did a lot of colubrids, not really ball pythons. I talked about why. Back then, the ones that we could get, at least around here in this area, were wild caught. They didn't do good. Ball pythons refuse a lot, anyways. But these things were just terrible. I'm not gonna get into that. Let's talk about genetics and morphs. Okay, a mainland, obviously, a male can get. People say that they stay smaller than a female, okay? And partially that can be true, but in some cases it's not true. They can get just as big as a female, okay? A lot of it depends on your feeding regimen, genetics, and things like that. So that's that. Let's talk about his, the morphs that he has in him. He is a titanium tiger, Motley golden child. Like I've said in past videos, all my favorite morphs are in this one animal right here. Okay, I got him from New Shed Serpents. I said in a few videos ago. Go check them out. They're on Morph Market. You can reach out to Chris. He's awesome. He's the type of guy that's willing to help anyone, and very knowledgeable. He's a bow guy like me from the beginning, so check them out. Anyways, big shout out to him. Much love, bro. Anyways, so we have, remember these morphs, because we're going to do a rundown here. So he's a titanium tiger, Motley golden child, okay? And this is him. We'll get a few like close-ups of him, let him cruise around a little bit. He's acting a little ding-dongish. He's a baby still. He does have a teeny bit of a wobble, not much. Chris believes that it's because he has so many genes in him, and that can happen. You know, there's some morphs people talk about having wobbles, this and that, and my point of view on that is as long as it doesn't affect the animal's health and overall well-being, and you're capable enough of a handler to take care of an animal that, for lack of a better word, has a little bit of a disability, it's not that big of a deal. Jags, whatever, I love them. Jags are awesome. Someday I'd like to have some Jags. Just like spider genes, people are scared to get them. You know, when I was coming up and really getting into breeding, my favorite morph of ball python was spider, still is. If I got back into ball pythons, it wouldn't be for money because no one wants to buy spiders, okay? And I love spiders. Spiders and clowns, pinstripes are really awesome because they're similar to spiders. But, you know, spiders, yeah, they have a little bit of a wobble. Some can be more severe. But dude, they were the best eaters I ever had. I never had problems with spiders eating. Unless obviously they were ovulating, okay? But we're not here to talk about ball pythons. I just brought that up because he does have a little bit of a wobble. Doesn't affect him at all. He's probably the best eater I have. Don't know why, if there's any correlation there or not. But let's get a good look at him. Obviously the head to me, being colorblind, is a telltale sign. Where it's the lighter brown, right, Caleb? Okay. Or lighter tan, whatever. On a lot of morphs, when tiger comes into play and they're a solid color, that's the head of a tiger that I've noticed. And the other thing I noticed about titanium that I love is the sides are all faded, and it will push the color up and create almost a perfect kind of thicker stripe down the back of the animal. Not always, but in my opinion, from what I've seen in most cases. And that's how I'm able to tell the titanium or has titanium. So anyways, golden child, it's a little bit different. I mean, golden childs have some speckling in them. To me, now I'm talking as a colorblind person, okay? Dealing with this, and Chris knows too because he's colorblind. But at any rate, they create a solid, basically a solid colored snake. They can be solid lighter brown, solid whatever. So anyways, that's kind of how you can tell that he has golden child in him. Now it's motley, okay? Motley will create kind of that pattern, that distinctive motley pattern going down the back and whatnot. Now, I don't see, other than the fact that, you know, he's darker on the top where it's pushed the color to the top, the titanium has, where he's darker on the top. That's the only thing that I could see that could possibly indicate that, you know, he's got motley. But the fact of the matter is that I've studied the sources that I buy from. You know, most of the time I've made mistakes also, and bought from people that I didn't really do my research on. Do your research, make sure that you know, like, you've contacted this person, you've got to know this person before you purchase an animal, okay? Not just for the morph, but if you're getting into dwarfs and super dwarfs, you really got to know what you want out of your dwarf, okay? I'm gonna put him back. I'm gonna grab another snake. So
It's already going.
Oh, it is? Sorry, I didn't hear the beep on the camera. I'm sitting there waiting for my son to hit the button, dude. Anyways, right here, we got Tegan. Okay, she's a tiger, heifer purple albino. She's 50% Jampea, which is an island where some of the dwarfs come from. Okay, you have Sealayar, which is another island where dwarfs come from. There's several islands out there, and you can get into that for days. Check out Garrett Hartle, Nava, contact Chris. There's a lot of guys out there that know. Okay, that was exciting. She ate not too long ago. Anyways, that's a blowout. I guess I should have fed her Fix-A-Flat. Okay, do your thing. Anyways, okay, she's 50% dwarf. Now, another thing you have to consider is not just the fact that she's 50% dwarf. You have to check out the mom. Was the mom the one carrying the dwarfism? Was the dad the one carrying the dwarfism? Because they tend to take after the mom. Okay? So, what I mean by that is, so if you have 100% dwarf, pure Jampea, okay, and you breed it to a mainland male, which eclipses, okay, it's going to come out being 50% dwarf, just like her, okay. But the mom's the one carrying the dwarfism, so the animal's going to be, you know, quite a bit smaller because they tend to take after the mom. Now, if the roles were reversed, okay, the mom was the mainland and the dad was the 100% dwarf, you bred them, you would still get that 50% dwarf. But herein lies one of the problems and kind of a controversial topic. But from, you know, researching things that well-renowned people in the industry have been researching themselves for years, I've come to find out that that is true. They do tend to take more after the mom. She's trying to get up there. Anyways, so as far as my projects go, you can tell kind of where I'm going, okay? So if I bred, now she's the female, she's carrying the dwarfism, okay? I breed Eclipse to her. I want you in the comments to tell me what are my possibilities. She'll be breedable next season, not this season. Right now she'll be close to breedable. It'll be iffy. We'll have to palpate her and see where she's at. But right now she's 19 months old. She's moving around like no other. I'm glad she decorated my floor. That will make my wife happy. I'm gonna have to get out the bleach and clean it up. Anyways, okay, so I want you to tell me, when am I gonna get morph-wise? Okay? Tell me what percentage of dwarf are the babies gonna be? Now I'm not gonna say, I know, but I want you to tell me. This is to spark conversation. I'm sure there's a lot of you that know, a lot of you that probably don't know, which is fine. There was a point in time that everyone out there, even Garrett Hartle, didn't know, okay? He wasn't just born with that knowledge. You earn it by studying, researching, getting to know people, and finding out whether they're trustworthy or not, and those kind of things. That's really what it boils down to. Now I'm going to put her back and clean up this mess, and I'm going to bring another animal up. See you in a second. Alright, I'm back. I got another snake. Alright, this is Asia. She's an amel. Amelanistic reticulated python, but she's a super dwarf. She's 50%. They have to be 50% dwarf or super dwarf to be classified as one or the other. You can't have a 25% super dwarf and sell it and say it's super dwarf. You can say that it has super dwarf in it, which is going to have an effect. The snake will be smaller. But you cannot classify it as a super dwarf. Sorry, my coffee pot here is bugging the hell out of me. I don't like when stuff's a little OCD. Anyways, so let's back to the plans, the breeding plans, okay? So, if I take Eclipse and I breed him to Tegan, the last one I just showed you, all the dwarf, that's 50%, that's going to come out as a percentage, right? And the way that I remember how percentages work is everything is divided by 2. So if I breed him, Eclipse, which is a mainland, no dwarf, no super dwarf, and I breed him to a 50%, then the babies are going to come out dwarf, not technically, but they'll have dwarfism in them. But you have to divide the number of the mother or the father by 2. Okay? It's all about division and adding. So like I said in the comments, you tell me if I breed my mainland to Tegan, what the babies are going to come out as. Now if I take a male, raise him up to a year, and I breed him back to Tegan, his mom, which is called line breeding with snakes, it's not that big of a deal. I don't know why she wants to wrap around my neck, but that's fine. Anyways, if I breed that back, a male, that is technically her son, whatever, back to her, then what is my percentage going to be of dwarf? So there's 2 different types of questions going on here. First question that's going on here is, a matter of percentages. Just to strike up conversation. I mean, I don't know everything. I know what I've been taught because I've taken the time to do the research and had several long conversations with people that have been doing it for a long time, and things like that, which you should be doing if this is what you want to do. Okay? Now, the second question is, I have a mainland and he's 4 genes. What could I possibly get by breeding him to Tegan, which is a tiger het purple, the dwarf? And also the same question is going to go for her. Okay? She's just a male. Which is a recessive gene. What will I get? Okay? And then what will I get if I take one of those baby males, raise it up, and breed it back to her, morph-wise? We're also asking the question of percentages too, but we're not going to dig really deep into that. It's just a straight-up conversation, really. I'm sure a lot of you know. But anyways, I had the dwarf up here. This is the same percentage, but it's in a super dwarf. Okay? What differences do you notice in the body structure, the girth of her, okay, and also the length of her? Now snakes, reticulated pythons, or pythons in general anyways, and I've noticed that most snakes are going to get their length. They'll start to get a little girth too, but mostly they're going to start to get their length before they get their girth. She's eating large rats. My dwarf eats extra large rats. Okay? And obviously the mainland, just because he's a baby, he'll be the one that eating the biggest prey, but not right now. He just eats small rats. I only feed my animals once a week. I alternate the days sometimes a little bit, but they're on a strict feeding schedule, just like you would put a purebred hunting dog on. That's the way I look at it, just because my father raised purebred hunting dogs, and I see how it affects them and how they grow up and things. And I'm sure not all of that translates over into reptiles, but some of it does. So anyways, you can see how she wants to move around more also. Yeah, and the dwarf, he wanted to move around, but not quite as much. The mainland, he was moving around a lot, but he's a baby. And from what I understand, I don't know if this is true, so I'm not going to say it's truth. People talk about super dwarves being flighty, whatever. Her, ever since I've owned her, every time I get in her cage and try to get her, she runs. The second I get her out, she's like this. Nothing's wrong. Just curious. Hi, baby. But she runs. The rest of them don't. I don't know why. It doesn't really matter. I'd rather have them run than take a bite out of my face or my hand. But anyways, I wanted to propose those questions, show you a few of my animals, and talk a little, strike up a conversation a little bit about breeding plans. What are you guys excited to see next breeding season come out of what we got going on here at Arctic Pythons? My goal, just so you know, also 50% is about where I like to be. I like the ones that also are a higher percentage super dwarfs, since they're a lot smaller. But if you're buying a reticulated python, in my opinion, you're wanting a big snake. You want something impressive, something cool. Yeah, of course, when they get bigger, they cost quite a bit to feed. But at any rate, I want a big snake. So I like mainlands. I like 50% dwarfs. That's kind of where I like to be, is 50%. Not that I won't try to shoot, for higher, but I'm saying that's what I like, because they're still big, impressive, but they got enough dwarf in them to where they're not like a monster as far as size. Okay. Super dwarfs are awesome because they still get very impressive. A little bit bigger, a high percentage super dwarf is a little bit bigger than a boa constrictor, are about the same size, and that's arguable depending on whether the dad had the dwarfism or the mom, like I told you about. Go ahead and hiss. I don't know why she's letting out some air. I don't know what her deal is, but we're gonna put her away. I just wanted to make a short video, show you a few things. I didn't really get a chance to properly introduce Eclipse. Shout out, like I said, to New Shed Serpents. Check them out. There's a lot of awesome guys out there. If I started shouting out the guys that legit know what they're talking about as far as super dwarfs go, I could be standing here for an hour. That I believe legit, know what's going on. But get a hold of Chris, Eric Lee. There's lots out there. Reach Out Reptiles. Those are just 3 right off the top of my head. But there's several guys that have been doing it for quite a long time. But anyways, that's all I got today. Look forward to seeing your comments. Thanks for subscribing, supporting us. It's fun. We just do this for fun, Like I've said before, I have a full-time job. I don't do this for money. I do it because I love them. They're just freaking awesome. You know what I mean? Huh? What? Anyways, take it easy. Peace out from Arctic Pythons. Later.